The morning sunlight filtered through the blinds of Alex's bedroom, casting soft lines across the walls. He sat on the edge of his bed, staring at the cheerleading outfit draped over his chair. The vibrant colors, the pleated skirt, and the crisp top seemed impossibly daring for someone like him. Yet, there it was, a ticket into a world he had only ever fantasized about from afar. Alex was a senior in high school, known for being quiet, responsible, and a bit of a perfectionist. Most days, he blended into the background, excelling in his classes and helping his friends with projects, careful never to draw too much attention. But beneath that composed exterior was a side of him he rarely let surface, a curiosity about expressing himself in ways society considered unconventional for a boy. He had experimented in secret at home, trying on clothes, playing with makeup, and learning the delicate art of femininity from the safety of his room. His fascination had always been harmless fun, or so he told himself, but today was different. Today, the thrill of exploration collided with an unexpected opportunity. His younger sister, Lily, had left her cheer outfit out in the laundry room, and Alex couldn't resist. He had teased her about it the day before, joking about how silly the outfit looked. But joking had evolved into curiosity, and curiosity had evolved into desire. Now, holding the outfit in his hands, he realized he wanted more than just to tease. He wanted to experience it himself. Emma, his girlfriend, had always been supportive of his quirks, though she didn't fully understand this side of him. She loved his playful energy, his willingness to experiment, and his occasional mischievous streak. But even with Emma, Alex had never crossed this particular line. He feared judgment, even from her, and the thought of being discovered added both tension and excitement. The bedroom felt simultaneously cozy and confining as he tried to imagine himself in the outfit. The soft fabric slipped through his fingers as he considered the transformation, the thrill of putting on the skirt, the careful placement of the top, the unfamiliar weight of pom-poms in his hands. He could almost hear the imagined applause of the crowd, feel the sway of the skirt as he moved, and sense the electric mix of vulnerability and confidence that came with stepping into someone else's world. He changed into the outfit carefully, almost ritualistically. The pleated skirt hugged his waist, swaying slightly as he moved. The top, tight but comfortable, framed his torso in a way that made him acutely aware of his body. The socks pulled up to just below his knees, the sneakers laced tightly, and the final touch, Lily's hair ribbon tied loosely around his wrist, all combined to complete the transformation. He looked into the mirror, and for a moment, he barely recognized himself. The reflection was both him and someone entirely new, bold, playful, and undeniably feminine. The excitement was tinged with fear. What if someone walked in? What if Emma came over unexpectedly? What if Lily returned early? Each thought sent a shiver down his spine, mixing dread with anticipation. The secrecy, the risk, and the thrill created a heady cocktail of emotions. Alex practiced a few cheer moves in his room, feeling the unfamiliar sway and bounce of the outfit. Each jump, each arm movement, was a small adventure. The mirror reflected both skill and awkwardness, perfection and hesitation. He laughed softly at himself, realizing how much he enjoyed the sensation of performing, even if it was just for an audience of one, the reflection staring back at him. The phone buzzed with a text from Emma. "Don't forget we have homework later," face blowing a kiss. Her message reminded him that life outside his room continued, that the world would notice, that the risk of exposure was real. But rather than making him retreat, it added fuel to his curiosity. Could he carry this secret with him? Could he step into school in the cheer outfit, at least in spirit if not in practice? The thought made his heart race. By the end of the morning, Alex was both exhilarated and terrified. The outfit wasn't just fabric. It was a symbol of a hidden desire, a challenge to his usual restraint, and a doorway into an identity he had barely dared to explore. Little did he know, this playful experiment would set off a chain of events that would push him further than he ever imagined, forcing him to navigate suspense, embarrassment, and the thrill of transformation on an entirely new level. Alex stood in front of the mirror, examining himself from every angle. The pleated skirt hugged his waist just right, The top accentuated his frame in a way that felt foreign yet thrilling, and the sneakers gave him a sense of readiness. Every detail mattered. How he moved, how he stood, even how he tilted his head. This wasn't just about trying on his sister's cheer outfit anymore. It was about stepping into an entirely new persona. The internal conflict was immediate. Part of him felt embarrassed, guilty even, for taking something that wasn't his. Another part of him thrilled at the idea of being noticed, of performing in a way that made him feel alive. The tension between shame and excitement created a storm of emotions he couldn't easily untangle. He practiced simple cheer motions, swaying his arms and bouncing lightly on his toes. Each movement heightened the unfamiliar sensations of the skirt brushing against his thighs and the top fitting snugly against his torso. It was a delicate dance between vulnerability and empowerment. Every shift of the fabric, every reflected glance in the mirror, reinforced his transformation. The suspense escalated when Alex realized he wasn't alone in the house. Lily had left her room, but any sudden return could expose him instantly. His heart raced as he imagined her walking in, catching him mid-pose, and laughing, or worse, screaming. He tiptoed across the room, holding the skirt in place as he adjusted the top, careful to avoid any creases or slips that might betray his secret. Alex's phone buzzed again. A text from Emma. "Can you come over after school? Need help with a project?" Face blowing a kiss. The message was innocent, yet it added a layer of anxiety. If he went to Emma's house like this, would she notice? Would she judge? Or, even more daring, would she encourage this new side of him? The possibilities spun in his mind, mixing thrill with panic. To test himself, he walked through the hallway, imagining each step as a mini-performance. The swish of the skirt, the careful placement of his feet, the gentle bounce of the sneakers, all heightened his awareness. Each step felt like a tightrope walk between discovery and exhilaration. He paused near the front door, imagining a neighbor walking by, catching a glimpse. The risk made his pulse pound, and a shiver of excitement ran down his spine. The first real test came when Alex's mom called from downstairs. "Alex, can you grab me some water?" Panic surged. He had to navigate the stairs without revealing the skirt's movement or drawing attention to his transformed posture. He descended slowly, hips shifting slightly with each step, heart hammering in his chest. His mom's humming masked her awareness, but every creak in the floorboards felt like an alarm. Back in his room, he reflected on the thrill of near exposure. Each narrow escape made the transformation feel more real, more addictive. He realized that the cheer outfit wasn't just a costume, it was a conduit for self-expression, a challenge to his own boundaries, and a key to exploring a side of himself he had long suppressed. The suspense deepened when a text came from Lily. "Leaving early, don't touch my stuff," winking face. The wink at the end made Alex's stomach twist. He had already crossed that boundary, and now he had to live with the consequences. The thrill of defiance blended with the fear of being discovered, amplifying every heartbeat, every movement. Alex practiced cheer routines, imagining a small audience of classmates and friends. Each motion, the jumps, the claps, the spins, was a test of coordination and courage. The physicality of the movements heightened his awareness of his transformed body. Every stretch of the skirt, every shift of the top, reminded him of the precariousness of his situation. The mirror reflected a dual identity, the boy who had always been cautious and composed, and the daring persona he had now embraced. He experimented with subtle makeup, brushing on a hint of blush and adjusting his hair ribbon. The tactile sensation of the brush against his skin, the shine of the ribbon in his hair, all reinforced the transformation. It was intimate, thrilling, and terrifying. Each addition increased the risk of exposure, but also deepened his immersion in the new persona. As the afternoon progressed, Alex's confidence grew, but so did the suspense. Every creak, every distant voice, every imagined glance from a family member or a neighbor heightened the tension. He realized that the thrill wasn't just in wearing the outfit, it was in maintaining the secret, in navigating the fine line between discovery and concealment. By evening, Alex was both exhilarated and exhausted. The outfit had become a second skin, a portal into a side of himself he could no longer ignore. He glanced at the calendar and realized that tryouts for the cheer squad were next week. The stakes had shifted. What started as a playful experiment now held the potential to become something permanent. The mirror reflected his conflicted expression. He had crossed a line, experienced vulnerability, and felt exhilaration unlike anything before. The risk of exposure, combined with the growing thrill, had set the stage for an adventure he couldn't easily step back from. Tomorrow, the world outside his room would challenge him further. Would he dare to continue? Would he survive the scrutiny of friends, family, and classmates? The suspense was only beginning, and Alex felt the pulse of anticipation thrumming through him. The next morning, Alex stood in front of the mirror again, the cheer outfit feeling even more like a second skin. The skirt swayed lightly as he moved, the top hugged him perfectly, and the sneakers gave him a sense of balance and confidence. Today wasn't just a practice run. Today, he had to face the real world. The first obstacle came the moment he stepped outside. Neighbors, classmates, and even the mail carrier could see him. Each glance, real or imagined, sent a shiver of panic mixed with exhilaration down his spine. The risk of being caught made every step feel like walking a tightrope. His mind raced with scenarios. What if someone recognized him? What if they mocked him? Or, more daringly, what if someone admired the outfit and his confidence? At school, the suspense intensified. Every hallway he navigated was a gauntlet. Whispers followed him, sometimes friendly, sometimes teasing. His classmates gave curious glances, and he caught a few of them trying to suppress smirks. Each interaction was a delicate dance. He had to maintain his balance, posture, and composure while navigating unfamiliar territory. Every step was amplified by the swish of the skirt and the unfamiliarity of the shoes. When he entered the gym for the cheer practice, the real challenge began. The squad was already there, practicing routines, pom-poms flying, voices calling out counts. Alex's heart pounded in rhythm with the claps and stomps. Each cheer move felt amplified by the awareness of all eyes on him. Would they notice anything unusual? Could he blend in convincingly? The adrenaline surged, heightening both fear and excitement. Coach Thompson spotted him immediately. "Alex, you made it." The voice was friendly, but every syllable sent Alex's nerves into overdrive. He nodded, forcing a smile, and joined the squad. The movements, jumps, and spins were more than just physical. They were a test of courage, confidence, and composure. Every time he stumbled or felt awkward, the thought of being discovered lingered like a shadow. Midway through practice, a sudden incident escalated the tension. A gust of wind from the gym doors caused his skirt to flutter unexpectedly, and a teammate glanced in his direction with curiosity. Alex froze, heart hammering, but managed to adjust his stance before anyone could notice. The moment was small, but it crystallized the precariousness of his situation. He was walking a fine line between exposure and concealment. Internal struggles intensified. Alex felt exhilaration from performing, pride in mastering the movements, and an undeniable thrill at the secret he was keeping. Yet, fear lingered in the background. What if Emma or Lily saw him? Would they support him, laugh at him, or shun him? The duality of confidence and vulnerability made each cheer, each jump, each clap feel electrifying. Then came the unexpected twist. Lily herself walked into the gym, intending to watch practice. Alex's stomach dropped. She hadn't planned on being there, and now the possibility of exposure was immediate. Their eyes met, and for a split second, he saw surprise, confusion, and recognition in her gaze. His mind raced. How much had she noticed? Could he play it off convincingly, or was the secret about to unravel in front of the entire squad? The next moments were a blur of panic and improvisation. Alex had to complete the cheer routine flawlessly, maintain composure, and manage his fear simultaneously. He adjusted his movements subtly, keeping the skirt in place, holding the pom-poms with precision and projecting confidence. Every step, every motion, every spin was calculated to avoid drawing attention while still performing convincingly. A symbolic moment heightened the emotional stakes. Mid-spin, one of his pom-poms slipped from his hand, tumbling across the gym floor. His reflection in the mirrored wall caught his eye, two Alexes staring back, the boy he had always been, and the daring, transformed persona now standing on the squad. He lunged to catch the pom-pom, heart in his throat, the skirt swishing dramatically. The near mishap amplified both vulnerability and thrill. It was a visual metaphor for the delicate balance he was navigating. By the end of practice, Alex was exhilarated but exhausted. He had survived the scrutiny, avoided disaster, and even gained subtle nods of approval from some teammates. The adrenaline lingered, a mix of pride, relief, and the lingering fear of discovery. Yet, he knew the suspense wasn't over. Every text, every unexpected visitor, every glance from a friend or family member could tip the balance, and the thrill of cross-dressing had now merged with the reality of risk. Walking home, he reflected on the day's events. The cheer outfit wasn't just clothing, it was an awakening, a gateway into a side of himself he had barely dared to explore. The experience had tested his courage, heightened his awareness, and made him more acutely conscious of his dual identity. The stakes had escalated from playful experimentation to full immersion in a world of suspense, identity, and transformation. As he approached his front door, his phone buzzed with a message from Emma. "Hey, can you come over tonight? Need to talk," face blowing a kiss. The innocent message sent a ripple of anticipation and fear through him. Would she discover anything? Would she encourage this side of him? Or was the risk of exposure now personal and emotional? The suspense lingered, teasing the next chapter of his adventure. The sun was beginning to set as Alex walked home, still wearing the cheer outfit from earlier. The swish of the skirt with each step reminded him of the day's successes and the near disasters. His heart was still racing from narrowly avoiding detection during practice, but a strange mix of pride and apprehension coursed through him. The thrill of performing, combined with the constant tension of being discovered, had left him on edge. As he approached the house, he noticed a shadow moving across the front yard. His stomach twisted. Could it be Lily? Had she followed him? Or worse, had Emma arrived unexpectedly? Alex's mind raced, imagining every possible scenario. His palms were clammy, and he gripped the hem of the skirt, almost as if holding onto it could protect him from exposure. He stepped inside cautiously, hoping for solitude, but the house was eerily quiet. Every creak of the floorboards sounded amplified. Each room he passed seemed charged with potential discovery. He ducked behind the couch to grab his backpack, trying to steady his breath. The outfit that had given him confidence during cheer practice now felt like a risk-laden armor. Then the phone buzzed. A notification from Emma. His hands trembled as he picked it up. "We need to talk. Can you come over now?" The words were simple, innocent even, but they sent a shock through him. Did she know? Had she noticed something during practice? The thought that Emma might discover his secret made his pulse skyrocket. Before he could decide what to do, a soft knock echoed from the front door. Alex froze. It could be anyone: Lily, a neighbor, Emma herself. The knock was deliberate, slow, almost teasing, like a drumbeat of suspense that matched the racing of his heart. He peered through the peephole but couldn't immediately see who it was. The hallway felt suddenly narrow, oppressive, charged with anticipation. He weighed his options. Should he hide the outfit, change back into his normal clothes, or confront whoever was at the door? The tension made him hyper-aware of every detail, the skirt swaying around his thighs, the top hugging his chest, the sneakers squeaking faintly against the floor. Each sound seemed amplified, each shadow suspicious. Alex took a deep breath, feeling both excitement and fear. He had navigated the cheer squad, the near discovery by Lily, and the thrill of performing, but this moment felt different. The uncertainty of who was at the door, and what they might think, was a mirror of the larger uncertainty in his life. His secret was no longer just a playful experiment. It had consequences, risks, and the potential to change relationships permanently. He slowly approached the door, every step measured. Heart pounding, he reached for the handle, and just before opening it, he paused. His reflection in the hallway mirror caught his eye, two Alexes staring back. One, The cautious boy who had always followed the rules, and the other, the daring, transformed persona standing boldly in the cheer outfit. The duality of identity, the thrill of transformation, and the looming risk of exposure converged in that single heartbeat. The knock came again, louder this time, insistent. Alex's hand hovered over the door handle. He could feel the tension in every muscle, every fiber of his body. The moment stretched, suspended between courage and fear. Then, just as he was about to open the door, the scene cuts. The identity of the visitor, their reaction, and the consequences of Alex's choice are left unresolved. The tension hangs in the air, leaving viewers on the edge of their seats, wondering, has the secret been discovered? What will Emma or Lily do when they find out? And most importantly, how will Alex navigate the thrilling, risky world he has now entered?